Ever feel like you're just a spectator in your own life? Like invisible strings are being pulled by forces outside your control, leaving you feeling, well, powerless. But what if I told you there's a profound, often unspoken truth, a secret known to ancient Stoic philosophers, that declares you were born a king, the rightful ruler of your own existence, and they left behind the actual keys to your kingdom? Forget asking for permission to wear your crown. Today, we're dusting off those battle-tested Stoic tools, powerful psychological strategies that will teach you not just how to reclaim your throne, but how to rule your world with unshakable confidence and purpose. Stay with me. It's a story I hear all too often. So many men today feel adrift, powerless, like they're merely reacting to life instead of actively shaping it. But here's the raw, unvarnished truth that often gets buried under societal conditioning and self-doubt. You are the king of your life. Yes, you. And if your kingdom doesn't quite feel like a realm you rule right now, that's okay. You absolutely can be, and we're going to show you precisely how. In this video, we're equipping you with potent, battle-tested Stoic tools, psychological armor and weaponry, if you will, that will teach you exactly how to be in charge, how to take the helm of your own ship. And I'll let you in on a little secret right from the start. You don't get to be king by waiting around and asking for permission. That crown isn't bestowed, it's claimed. Honestly, that permission slip you might be waiting for, it isn't coming, and truthfully, deep down, you don't actually need it. It's time to forget the endless chase for external validation. It's time to ditch that exhausting, soul-crushing approval-seeking behavior. Why? Because the very first, the absolute foundational step to truly being your own boss, to becoming the sovereign of your own experience, is the profound realization that you already are the boss of you, of your thoughts, your actions, your entire life. Before you can confidently become the ruler of your own domain, the very first thing you must do is mentally, emotionally, and spiritually reclaim your throne. Just pause and think about it for a moment. How many times, perhaps even today, have you told yourself, "I can't," only for that to be immediately followed by a well-rehearsed excuse? I can't because my boss won't let me, or I can't because I just don't have the money right now, or that all-time classic, the one that cuts the deepest, I can't because I'm simply not good enough. Let's be crystal clear. These aren't legitimate reasons, they're carefully constructed excuses. They are, in essence, chains forged from the heavy metal of self-doubt, meticulously created by you, and willingly, if unconsciously, accepted by you. But here's the empowering part. You don't have to continue accepting them if you no longer want to. You hold the key to those chains. The ancient Stoics had a term for this all-too-human weakness for excuses. They called it giving up control. And it's this very act, this subtle abdication of personal power, that stops most people from ever finding true, lasting freedom and fulfillment. They willingly, almost habitually, cede their power to outside forces, to what other people might think, to the crushing weight of social pressure, to the unpredictable whims of fleeting emotions. They become, in a sense, puppets dancing to a tune composed by someone else. But what if you could cut those strings? What if you could take back that power, that inherent agency? What if you could systematically train your brain to see yourself not as a hapless victim of circumstance, but as the deliberate, conscious creator of your own future? That, my friends, is precisely where the timeless, practical wisdom of Stoicism can profoundly help us. It's a philosophy that teaches us to understand our emotions, not to suppress them, but to comprehend their origins and their messages. It teaches us to master them, to channel their energy, and to use them as fuel to drive purposeful action. Yes, there is a way we can take back control, a way we can begin to rule our inner kingdom more effectively. And we can start this very day with a simple, yet incredibly potent, daily practice. Each morning, before the world rushes in, look yourself squarely in the eye in the mirror and declare, with conviction, I am in control of my own mind. I choose how I respond to every situation that life presents. I control what I can, and I accept, with grace, what I cannot. The transformative power of daily, intentional self-talk like this is astonishingly real. When you consistently say these things, when you embody them, you're using your words and your focused actions to strengthen the deep-seated belief that you are in control. You're actively, powerfully reminding yourself that you are in charge. No one, ultimately, will ever control you as much as you control yourself. Within your own world, within your own mind, you are the king. So, start saying it, start believing it, start living it, and please, don't underestimate the profound impact of these seemingly simple phrases. They are like potent seeds. When planted consistently in the fertile ground of your mind, they have the power to blossom into a complete, revolutionary mindset change. And that fundamental change in mindset can become the solid, unshakable foundation for an entirely new life. A life characterized by genuine personal freedom, purpose, and power. This is where the insightful Stoic idea of the ruling faculty, your hegemonicon, comes into play. Now, it might sound a bit fancy or academic, but it's actually very simple and incredibly powerful in its application. Think of your ruling faculty as the CEO of You Incorporated. It's that core part of you, that inner command center, that makes decisions, that processes information from your senses and your thoughts, and that directs the actions of the rest of your company, your body, your emotions, your thought patterns. In short, to reclaim your kingdom, you must start making conscious, executive decisions. The head of any organization, be it a CEO, a king, or a queen, what is their primary function? They make decisions. They set the direction. They take responsibility. The core idea here is for you to become that decisive decision maker in your own life. But for this to truly work, for this inner shift to take root and flourish, you absolutely must do your part. The key takeaway, the unfortunate truth we often see, is that most people unconsciously abdicate this incredible power. It's as if they're passively letting an untrained, inexperienced intern run their entire life. Their real, de facto ruler often becomes the fleeting emotions of the moment, the ever-shifting opinions of others, or those quick, 5-second pleasures that offer no lasting substance. They willingly, if unknowingly, give away their power to these external, often capricious, forces, and then, inevitably, they wonder why they feel so lost, so empty, so perpetually adrift in the vast ocean of life. But here's the empowering, liberating truth. You have this ruling power within you. You are the sovereign of your own mind. It's there, right now, patiently waiting to be utilized. Like a hidden, dormant superpower, the problem, for many, is that it's become weak through disuse. It's been starved by years, perhaps even decades, of having no real authority, no consistent exercise. You will have to consciously, diligently work to nurse it back to its full, formidable strength. If you commit to doing that, if you truly embrace this journey, it can take back control. If you wholeheartedly take responsibility for the things in your life, your choices, your reactions, your efforts, you can become that powerful ruler once again. Because true responsibility, in the Stoic sense, isn't just about the mundane tasks of paying bills and showing up on time. As important as those might be, it's about a far deeper, more profound understanding. It's about recognizing that you are, in a very real sense, the primary architect of your own experience, the shaper of your own internal world. Think of it like this: you are the king, but you're a king ruling over a very specific, and in some ways, wonderfully limited kingdom. This kingdom consists primarily of your actions, your reactions, and your thoughts. Everything else, that's largely outside your direct borders, outside your immediate sphere of control. Worrying incessantly about those external territories, trying to control what cannot be controlled, is like pouring your precious energy into a sieve, a complete waste on things you ultimately cannot change, and feeling perpetually sorry for ourselves when things don't go our way. That won't help build our kingdom either, will it? What we need, what our kingdom requires, are actions and emotions that actively help, that build, that strengthen, not regrets that drag us down or anxieties that paralyze us. We all, every single one of us, can fall into the seductive trap of victim thinking sometimes. It's an easy narrative, isn't it? Victimhood loves to blame, to deflect responsibility onto those convenient outside forces. My boss is unfair. The world is rigged against me. I just had a string of bad luck. It's an easy, almost comforting, psychological trap to fall into. And, to be fair, it often has some kernel of truth to it. Obstacles do exist out there. Unfair things most definitely happen in this world. But as aspiring Stoics, as individuals committed to personal empowerment, our primary focus shifts. We concentrate on what we can do, right here, right now, to improve our situation, to strengthen our inner citadel, regardless of external circumstances. And there's almost always something we can do, some small action we can take, to improve our internal state or our immediate situation. That means we have to consciously, courageously take full ownership of our kingdom, however messy or chaotic it might look right now. We have to embrace what some call radical ownership, taking responsibility for everything we can actually change. Everything within our sphere of influence. We have to be the ones to enact positive change. From the top down, starting with our own mindset, our own thoughts, our own decisions. So, we begin with that radical ownership. We start by looking inward, by examining our own contributions to our problems. Even when it's uncomfortable, even when it's painful, especially for those sticky, persistent problems in our lives. This might mean honestly saying to ourselves, okay, this situation is undeniably bad. It's painful, it's frustrating, but what, specifically, can I do about this? Or what can I learn from this? To make my life better, to move forward, what single action, however small it may seem, can I take right now to nudge things in a more positive, constructive direction? We have to learn to work with what we have, from where we are. So, we begin right there, by taking an honest, unflinching stock of what we truly possess within our own control. Let's get practical. First, try this. Create what we call a sphere of influence map. Take a simple piece of paper and draw a big circle right in the middle. Inside that circle, I want you to write down everything you directly control. This includes your attitudes, your daily habits, the words you choose to speak, the skills you're actively developing, the effort you put forth. Now, outside that circle, write down everything else, all those things you can't directly control. This will include the weather, other people's opinions of you, the fluctuations of the stock market, the morning traffic, past events, and so on. For the next week, make a conscious, dedicated effort to focus your energy, your attention, only on the things you've listed inside your circle. For now, consciously practice letting go of trying to control, or even excessively worry about, the things outside it. Focus on you, on mastering yourself, on ruling your own inner kingdom. Let's be brutally honest with ourselves for a moment. Too often, we react instinctively, almost on autopilot, instead of responding intelligently and thoughtfully to life's provocations. For example, how many times have we lashed out in a sudden instant of anger, only to deeply regret what we said or did just moments later? That kind of emotional reactivity is something most of us can significantly improve upon with conscious practice. At its extreme, it's like blindly handing over the controls of your actions, your very behavior, to whoever or whatever manages to push your emotional buttons. It effectively puts you in a passive, reactive position instead of the active, empowered one you deserve to inhabit. And a real king or queen, a true sovereign of their own life, is never merely passive. You can do better, you deserve better, and thankfully, the Stoics had a brilliant strategy to help us become much better at this. They called it premeditatio malorum, which roughly translates to the premeditation of evils, or more gently, thinking about possible problems before they actually happen. The core idea is to deliberately, calmly, and rationally imagine potential problems or setbacks that might arise in a given situation. When you do this, when you mentally walk through these potential difficulties, you are, in effect, preparing yourself for them, building a kind of psychological resilience in advance. Think of it like this: a skilled soldier doesn't wait until the battle is already raging to learn how to properly use their weapon. Do they? No. They practice diligently beforehand, honing their skills, preparing for various contingencies. That's precisely what we're doing with this Stoic visualization practice. We're training our minds, preparing them, fortifying them for the inevitable challenges and adversities that life, in its unpredictability, will invariably throw at us. So, try it. Try taking a moment, not to dwell morbidly or to catastrophize, but just briefly, calmly, to consider what could realistically go wrong with a particular plan or in an upcoming situation in your life. Instead of letting every unfortunate event sneak up on you and catch you completely off guard, see if you can proactively spot one or two potential difficulties. I can give you a simple, relatable one: the start of the work week, which is often challenging for many people after a relaxing weekend. Think about what that transition might specifically mean for you, for your energy, for your mood. Then, observe yourself when the next work week actually begins. Was it difficult, as you perhaps anticipated? If it is difficult, and you had already mentally acknowledged that possibility, you might find that this little bit of mental preparation can be surprisingly helpful in navigating that moment of difficulty with greater composure and less reactivity. Of course, there are definite steps to mastering this kind of emotional regulation. You can't just flip a switch and suddenly gain perfect control over your emotions. One key principle the Stoics emphasized is creating distance, a mental and emotional space between the trigger, that annoying comment from a coworker, that unexpected bill in the mail, that soul-crushing late-night traffic jam, and your subsequent response. Let's use an example to illustrate this: a high-stakes poker game. Imagine someone at the table makes a huge, intimidating bet, putting you on the spot. Do you immediately, impulsively, match it without thinking? You could, but what if, just for a crucial second or two, you could mentally step back, take a deep breath, evaluate the entire situation, your hand, your opponent's patterns, the odds, the potential risks and rewards, and then consciously choose the most effective, strategic response in that particular game? That thoughtful response could mean folding what seems like a good hand. It could mean boldly going all in. It's not really the specific move itself that matters as much as the profound fact that you took full advantage of your available time, your mental space, your rational faculty, before committing to it. And this very idea of taking your time, of creating that crucial space for reason to operate, brings us to another incredibly powerful Stoic strategy: the deliberate insertion of a pause before acting. It's a disarmingly simple idea, yet its impact can be revolutionary. When you feel that familiar surge of anger, that wave of intense frustration, or indeed any powerful emotion that threatens to hijack your rational brain, Consciously train yourself to just pause, even for just 10 seconds. Count to 10 slowly. Take a deep, centering breath. In that small, intentionally created space of silence, you create invaluable room for reason, for your higher self to take over from raw, unfiltered emotion. Because let's face it, endlessly chasing that next promotion, coveting the corner office, or relentlessly pursuing the bigger paycheck, that's not always true leadership, especially if it comes at the cost of your inner peace or your values. In those moments of unbridled desire, you're often being led by your own cravings, your own attachments, much like the proverbial donkey chasing a carrot on a stick, always just out of reach. That isn't freedom. That's often a subtle form of servitude to your own untamed desires. Stoicism offers a profoundly different, more empowering approach. It teaches us the art of strategic detachment. This doesn't mean becoming cold or uncaring. It means consciously stepping back, elevating your perspective, and striving to see the whole, interconnected picture, not just the tiny, emotionally charged part you might be hyper-focused on in the moment. Imagine, for a moment, that you're an astronaut, gazing down upon our beautiful, fragile Earth from the silent, vast expanse of space. From that incredible distance, that heated online argument that was making your blood boil just minutes ago, or that looming deadline that was stressing you out to no end. How significant do they truly appear in the grand cosmic scheme of things? From that elevated perspective, most of our daily worries and anxieties look much smaller, much less important, don't they? That's the power of the cosmic perspective, a technique many Stoics use to right-size their problems. We're not saying you shouldn't care about your life or your responsibilities, but it's vital to see your problems within a larger, more objective context. Otherwise, their perceived size and intensity will inevitably overwhelm you. And here's a practical tip that will undoubtedly help with this. Try consciously, deliberately loosening your attachment to specific outcomes. The core idea here is that an overly tight, anxious attachment to one particular desired outcome often significantly weakens our ability to lead effectively, both ourselves and others, and to see the bigger picture. When you're so intensely focused on getting something specific, on a particular result unfolding in exactly the way you demand, you can easily lose sight of the right thing to do, the most virtuous path. You might start to compromise your core values. You might find yourself making short-sighted, reactive decisions, all because you're consumed by the gnawing fear of not getting what you think you absolutely need to be happy or successful. Indeed, that state of being, where your actions are dictated by fear or an insatiable craving for specific external results, that's not true leadership, is it? That's essentially being controlled by your own untamed desires, a subtle but very real form of servitude. And as Stoics, as individuals committed to living with wisdom and inner freedom, we consistently strive to focus our precious energy only on what we can truly control, not on what lies beyond our direct influence. So, the crucial question becomes, how do we genuinely break free from this cycle? We begin by practicing what the Stoics called preferred indifference. Now, this isn't the same as apathy or simply not caring about anything. Far from it, it's about making a clear, rational distinction, recognizing that some things are definitively within our control. Our thoughts, our judgments, our chosen actions, our virtues, and a vast many other things simply aren't. The global economy, the unpredictable weather, the opinions and actions of other people, these are largely outside our direct command. We might certainly prefer certain outcomes, success in our ventures, good health, harmonious relationships, but we also cultivate a deep, abiding acceptance that we ultimately can't control everything. This very understanding, this preferred indifference, becomes the powerful key to our entire decision-making approach. Before making any significant decision, or when facing any challenging situation, ask yourself that potent Stoic question: is this, or its outcome, truly within my direct control? If it is, then by all means, focus your efforts on making the best possible choice, the most virtuous action, based on your deeply held values. If it isn't, then the wisest course is to acknowledge that reality, to accept it with grace and composure, and then to consciously, deliberately let go of your anxious attachment to it. Don't squander your valuable energy on battles you fundamentally cannot win. Save your strength, your focus, for what truly matters, for what you, as the leader, as the king of your own inner kingdom, can genuinely lead on and influence. You know, some people mistakenly think that being a leader, a king, means constantly giving orders, asserting dominance, or even stepping on others to get ahead. But they're profoundly wrong. Real, authentic leadership, the kind that endures and inspires, is about consistently building something bigger and more meaningful than yourself. And that noble endeavor almost invariably starts with the quality of the people you choose to surround yourself with. Your life is indeed your kingdom, you're its rightful ruler. But even the wisest kings and queens need trusted advisors. The people around you, your inner circle, they matter immensely. Choosing the wrong confidants, the wrong influences, can unfortunately lead to disaster. So, take a moment to really think. Who are the people currently occupying your inner circle? Are they true advisors, the kind who will give you honest, constructive feedback, even when it stings, even when it's hard to hear? Are they loyal allies, the ones who will genuinely support you, lift you up when things get undeniably tough? And, importantly, do you also have some healthy adversaries, not enemies, but those who respectfully challenge you, who push you to be better, who make you question your assumptions when you most need to hear it? Because understanding your own weaknesses, your blind spots, and actively learning from them is absolutely crucial for any true leader. The friendships in your life, if they are to be truly valuable, should be about far more than just casual partying, superficial entertainment, or shallow, insincere praise. The great Stoic philosopher Seneca once wisely said, "Associate with people who are likely to improve you. Your social circle shouldn't be an anchor, dragging you down into mediocrity or negativity." Ask yourself honestly, are your current friends actively pushing you to be a better, stronger, wiser version of yourself? Or are they, perhaps unintentionally, making you worse, pulling you away from your highest potential? Think carefully about who you truly want around you, in your court, and choose those individuals with profound wisdom and discernment. Stoicism, at its core, is about clearly knowing what you can control and what you can't. And you absolutely can control who you allow into your inner circle, into your most trusted space. It might be that you're already surrounded by genuinely good, uplifting people, in which case, your task is to nurture those bonds and perhaps spend even more quality time with them. Or, it might be the opposite. In that case, the path is clear. Actively bring the good, supportive, virtuous people closer. And as for those who consistently drain your energy, undermine your values, or exhibit truly toxic behaviors, you must have the courage to politely, but firmly, distance yourself. Your mental health, your very peace of mind, will thank you profusely for it. So, actively work on developing your inner council. Think of this as your own personal, internal board of directors, one made up not of external people, but of the timeless virtues you most want to live by. Perhaps it's wisdom, courage, justice, and self-control, the four cardinal Stoic virtues. These become the unwavering principles you consciously consult when making tough decisions. They are the core values that consistently guide your actions, your words, your very being. They are always there, within you, ready to offer guidance if you just quiet your mind enough to listen. Make them count. Because when we talk about Stoic acceptance, we only mean that for those things we genuinely cannot control. True Stoic acceptance isn't about passively giving up or resigning yourself to a miserable fate. It's about actively, consciously choosing what you will allow into your life, what you will focus on, and what kind of internal environment you will cultivate. Think of your personal environment, your mind, your home, your relationships, as a garden. You don't ultimately control the weather that affects your garden, the storms, the droughts, the unexpected frosts, but you absolutely do control what seeds you choose to plant, what you diligently nurture, and which weeds you consciously, proactively pull. You can even start this cultivation with your physical space. Take a good look around you right now. Does your immediate environment say leader, king, person of purpose, or does it scream mess, chaos, procrastination? A perpetually cluttered desk, for instance, isn't just an untidy surface. It's often a visual monument to unmade decisions, a constant background hum of visual noise that can effectively drown out the clear signal of your ambition. Your focus, your bedroom, your office, even your car, these are all, in a sense, extensions of your mind. Do they actively promote order, discipline, and focused attention, or do they inadvertently encourage chaos, distraction, and a sense of being overwhelmed? Seneca once observed, "It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more that is poor." The Stoics weren't necessarily against material possessions, but they deeply understood that owning too much, being too attached to stuff, can insidiously trap you. Every object you own, beyond a certain point, demands a slice of your attention, your time for maintenance, your mental energy and worry. A minimalist, thoughtfully curated space, therefore, isn't primarily about deprivation, it's about profound liberation. It's about consciously freeing up precious mental space for what truly, deeply matters: your purpose, your character, your relationships, your leadership. So, get practical with this. Try doing a room-by-room sovereignty check, perhaps starting with your bedroom, the space where you begin and end your day. What's the very first thing that greets your eyes when you wake up? Is it the glaring screen of a phone, already buzzing with 100 notifications and the world's demands? Or is it a clear, calm view, perhaps a window looking out onto nature, or an inspiring piece of art, inviting you into the day ahead with peace and intention? Maybe a book on philosophy or a journal on your bedside table would be a good thing to have as your first point of contact. The answer to this simple question can say a lot about where your day and your mindset is likely headed. Then, consider this powerful exercise. Create your own personal constitution. Think of it like a personal code of laws, the foundational principles by which you choose to live your life. What do you unequivocally stand for? What behaviors or attitudes, from yourself or others, will you absolutely not tolerate? These are the profound principles you consciously choose to carve into your very soul, your guiding stars. Now, some people might mock the idea of having personal rules or a defined code of conduct. They might say, "Oh, rules are for followers. I like to be completely free." But here's a beautiful Stoic paradox for you. True, lasting freedom, the kind that brings peace and fulfillment, actually comes from self-discipline, from living by consciously chosen values. Without clear, guiding values, you're often just like a ship without a rudder, helplessly blown around by the unpredictable winds of circumstance, by the whims of others, by your own fleeting impulses. You end up constantly reacting to life, instead of consciously, proactively acting within it. So, take the time to define your core principles. What virtues will you strive to live by each day? Choose your personal pillars of character, and then consciously, deliberately build your life upon them. The Stoics knew, with profound certainty, that true, Enduring fulfillment wasn't primarily found in the external accumulation of wealth or the wielding of worldly power, but rather in the consistent, daily effort to make a positive, virtuous impact on the world, starting with oneself. So, how does your daily work, your everyday actions, connect to this bigger vision of a life well lived? Are you primarily chasing those quick, fleeting pleasures, those temporary fixes, or are you consciously, patiently building something lasting, something of genuine value, something that reflects your deepest principles? This, my friends, is where the rubber truly hits the road. Because, let's be honest, talk is cheap. Anyone can quote inspiring phrases or share motivational memes. But it's your daily actions, your consistent choices, day in and day out, that truly, authentically show your character, that reveal the king you are becoming. So, take an honest look. Are the actions you're taking today genuinely serving your larger purpose? Your chosen values? If they are, fantastic, keep it up, amplify those efforts, and if they're not, then summon the courage to make the necessary changes so they do. Reclaim your kingdom, your inner sovereignty, and commit to ruling it with wisdom, with courage, and with unwavering conviction, because you are the sovereign of your life. The only permission you ever truly need is your own. So, what's the next step? Choose just one sovereignty practice from all we've discussed today. Perhaps it's the sphere of influence map, a daily affirmation, or defining one core value for your personal constitution. Start with that one thing today. Tomorrow, perhaps add another. Patiently, consistently build your royal toolkit, your arsenal of Stoic wisdom, one invaluable piece at a time. These aren't just lofty philosophical abstractions, my friends. They are battle-tested, practical strategies that can work for you, right here, right now, in the nitty-gritty of your daily life. If this video has helped you in any way to feel more empowered to take back control of your life, to reclaim your inner throne, I would be incredibly grateful if you would leave a comment below, sharing which specific strategy or idea resonated most powerfully with you. Your personal insight, your shared experience, might be exactly what another viewer out there, perhaps someone struggling just like you once did, needs to hear today to help them begin reclaiming their own sovereignty. And please, remember to subscribe to our channel for more Stoic wisdom, more practical insights designed to build profound mental strength, genuine emotional resilience, and a life of greater purpose. As Epictetus, that great Stoic thinker who rose from slavery to become a revered teacher, once said, "No person is free who is not master of themselves." By consciously using your ruling faculty, that incredible power of reason and choice that lies within you, you absolutely can create the life you truly want. A life of meaning, purpose, and peace. Start now. Become the leader, the king you were always meant to be. Today.